So guys, got a little bit of a different video for you guys today. I just kind of wanted to get some shit off my chest, get some shit off my head, I guess. Break down a few things as to what I would do if I was a beginner, some sort of keys to success, productivity hacks, that sort of stuff. Because guys, I remember a time where I was struggling to get clients. If you look back on my channel, it took me absolutely ages to get my actual first paying client. There were trials and stuff like that. I don't recommend trials. I'll talk about what I recommend instead in a second. I'll probably do a whole video on that segment as well. That's a whole video within itself, but I'll give you a little tip there. But guys, look, I feel like we're all trying to like run around finding this magic script or find this magic course that's going to give us this magic boost. I kid you not, guys, this is probably going to be the least sexiest video on my channel, but it's probably going to be one of the most important, so I beg you, just literally listen up. Look, the times I've been most successful, the times when I've closed the most clients, set the most meetings. For example, this week, it is now the 20th of November, so it's Friday the 20th. So this week, starting Monday, I've actually set 6 meetings through Upwork, and I've set 1 meeting through cold emails, even though my cold email game is at lower volumes than my actual Upwork stuff. So that, to me, I've set 7 meetings in just 1 week alone. I remember back when I was struggling, I couldn't even set 7 meetings in like a 3-month period. Like, no joke. It was just, I don't know what it was for me, but it was just so slow, so difficult, and so hard for me to set meetings. And then I kind of figured it out. Now that I'm starting to figure it out, the times when I've been most successful, right? Not only that, but I've closed 2 clients this month, one for 2K, one for 650. I've got other deals in the pipeline as well. So it's actually been quite a great week for me. And I want to kind of show you that this work has not actually come from just this week alone. It's come from the months prior. And this is a lot of stuff people don't actually talk about. It's all about consistency. Now, before you even turn this off, like, the times when I've been most successful have been the times when, not when I've been doing like the most outreach. It's been the times when I've just stuck to a number and just literally worked at it. So I highly recommend you, and I kind of invite you to do what you call a 90-day challenge, where you literally set a goal figure, as in how much do you want to make after these 90 days, how many clients do you want, is it 1 or 2, is it 3? I recommend aiming for at least 2 clients, or at least 1K each. Again, just depends on what sort of platform you're using, what sort of niche and industry you're in. You can obviously charge more, you can charge less, just depends. Just set a goal number that's going to work for you, something that you really want to achieve, that's going to maybe set you free so you don't have to work a job anymore, or even you can even try scale to 10K in that month. It just depends on how much outreach you're doing. Just be realistic with it though, guys. So what I mean by realistic, I want you to even add a 20% margin of error. Now, for example, let me break this down, what I mean by that. Let's say you want to make 2K, and that's a bit low. Let's say you want to make 4K in the next 90 days. You want to get up to 4K in the next 90 days. What you need to do is understand how much outreach you need to do to get 1 client. Once you do that, once you figure that out, how many pieces of outreach you need to send to get X amount of meetings, and out of those X amount of meetings, you know what your close ratio is. So let's say you send 100 emails, out of that you get 10 responses. You then need to know, out of those 10 responses, how many of those actually lead to a call. So let's say you get 10 responses, 5 of them out of the 10, so half of them out of the 10 actually create you a sales call. Now, out of those calls, how many do you close? Let's say it's just 1. So that means you know that you need to send at least 100 emails to get 1 client. So then all you have to do is times that by how many clients do you want. So first of all, know your numbers, and then once you know your numbers, like very clearly, stick to those numbers each and every day. So if you're going to do 100 emails a week, you'd obviously divide it by 5, which is 20 emails per day. So then you know you need to stick to 20 emails per day to hit your goal after the 90 days. So that's going to be not 90 days, it's actually going to be much quicker than that, because in 4 weeks you could close 4 clients. Because if you send 100 emails a week, you might get 10 responses back in a week. Half of those are calls. You jump on 1 call, you close a client a week. Times that by 4, you probably get to 4K, or if you're charging 1K, that is for a client, but you'll get 4 clients after 4 weeks if your numbers hold steady. That is the big thing, which is why I say add a margin of error, 20% margin of error. So what you do is you factor in almost like a buffer window, where it's like, okay, it's hard to explain, but you basically set up where it's like a fail window, if you will. Is that you add 20% onto the top. So let's say you are going to send 100 emails to get 1 client, add 20% to that, so add another 20 emails. So that's how you actually do that. And again, it's all well and good having these like lofty goals in your head that are really out there and in the clouds, if you have your head in the clouds, as they say. What you need to do is start assigning numbers to these. So I recommend you add a 20% margin of error. So whatever you think you can do. So let's say you think you can close 1 client after every 50 emails. Add a 20% margin to that and then work from there. So that's what I highly recommend you do. Then what I recommend you do is stick to your numbers each and every day. So let's say you need to send 100. I'm just going to use the 100 email because it's super easy to kind of stick to. Let's say you need to send 100 pieces of outreach. Maybe that's 100 emails, maybe that's 100 Instagram messages, maybe that's 100 LinkedIn messages, whatever form of outreach you found that's working for you. Of course, that's a whole nother discussion in itself. Yes, you need to find an outreach method that works for you personally and for your industry, your niche, if you will. So obviously that is just without saying, that's just a given, if you will. Once you figure that out, you need to figure out your numbers and reverse engineer your numbers to success. Then once you've done that, you need to set up your environment and your routines all around achieving this goal. Now, what I've noticed is, and this is a big fucking key for you guys that are like me. I used to love partying. I used to love, you know, chasing girls and all that sort of shit, copping bottles in clubs, just being that turn up, aka that turn up dude in the club that was always dancing, thinking he was Chris Brown and shit in the middle. Like, no joke, that used to be me. Now look, you have to sacrifice all of that shit. Like, no joke, you have to sacrifice all of that shit. I've noticed that whenever I drink alcohol, for example, not that I'm a fucking like alcoholic, it's just that I just love to party, I love dancing, I love being around people. That's just kind of like my environment. I'm kind of comfortable doing that sort of shit. It's so funny because like I do consider myself an introvert when it comes to talking to people, but like when I'm in the club and don't have to talk to people, and when I'm drunk, I've got that liquid courage, I guess, and I just kind of flourish in like social environments in that particular case. But trust me, I used to hate talking. I don't really anymore because of the whole YouTube thing and how many calls I basically have every friggin' week these days. Anyway guys, look, you need to set up your environment and start sacrificing. So you need to start looking at all the things that are going to distract you. I highly recommend you pull out a pen and some paper right now and actually write down at the top of the paper, what will stop me from achieving my goals. So again, grab a piece of paper, grab a pen and start writing down what you actually think will stop you from achieving your goals in terms of external environmental factors. And what I mean by that is, maybe you have friends that always want to party on the weekend. You kind of have to sacrifice that, unfortunately. Social media, being on your social media too long, that's another one. So you then, what you do is start figuring out all this shit that's going to stop you from achieving your goals, and then you put certain things in place to eliminate that. Now, if you literally do, because I know you're going to listen to this and you're just going to be like, oh, it sounds cool, Montel, but you're not actually going to do it. I'm telling you, if you literally just do this, it's going to put you ahead of so many people. So figure out your reverse engineer your numbers. Once you've got that, you now have a goal to aim towards. Then you need to think about, okay, what can stop me from hitting this goal? So then you start figuring out shit like, oh, okay, if I watch TV too much, that's going to limit me because I'm going to be focusing my attention on TV. So write that down on your fucking piece of paper. Then you start thinking like, oh, social media, if I spend too much time on that, it's going to take my attention away from outreach. Forget that. Chasing girls, that's another big thing for us guys. Forget that. Just completely forget that. Fuck girls. I'm telling you, I bet you any money. I'm not a millionaire yet, but I bet you any money I won't be chasing any girls when I'm a millionaire. I bet they'll be chasing me. And that's not like an ego thing. I know what girls are like. They're just so bougie these days. It's actually quite sad that they're so materialistic. Me personally, I'm actually chasing a million, not because of the actual million, but because of the person I will become that knows how to make a million. That's what I'm chasing. The better version of myself. So I just want to put that out there before anyone says, oh, egotistical, you think girls are going to be chasing you ugly fuck. I'm just joking. But anyway guys, look, start writing all these things down that are going to stop you, then put fail safes in them. So for example, not waking up on time would be something that would stop you, because then that's going to fuck up your whole routine. So then you put certain fail safes in place. Let me give you a real specific idea. Not waking up on time. What you could do to actually have a fail safe for that would be put your phone on the other side of the room at night time when you're going to bed. So that actually forces you to get out of bed. Not only that, but you can download an alarm called Alarm Me if you're on iOS. I'm not sure if it's on Android, but Alarm Me is an alarm on your phone. I mentioned it so many times on this channel. Basically does not allow you to turn off the alarm unless you go and scan like a barcode or complete some sort of task, which basically means once you've completed that task, you're pretty much out of bed. So for example, when I was struggling to get up at 6:30, and then I remember when I used to wake up at 5:30 each and every day, I used to struggle to get out of bed for the first like 2-3 weeks, something like that. It gets easier after that. What I used to do is have my phone on the complete opposite side of the bedroom. This is a trick you're gonna try and do for yourself. So I used to do this myself as well. Trust me, I've been through there. I'm trying to just be super real on this channel. I remember those days where I used to literally have my phone kind of away from my bed, but it was close enough where I could like kind of crawl and grab the lead and like pull the phone like this and then hit snooze and go back to sleep for like 10-15 minutes. My whole routine would kind of slow down. I'd have a slow morning. So don't do that shit. Make sure it's clearly out of the way where you can't do the reeling shit where you reel it in like a fishing rope and hit snooze on the alarm. That's how you know I've been through this shit myself. I'm sure there's people out there that actually can relate to that sort of shit when they've tried to put their phone away on the other side of the room. Another little fail safe you can use is having a night routine. Having a night routine, so turning your phone off at 9 p.m. because you want to get into bed by 10. I've noticed, and this is just my own personal scenario, I'll give you that because like it just makes it seem real, and I'll give you a specific example. Whenever I'm ready to go to bed, for example, especially on a Friday night, my friends will be like, let's like link up, even though it's like COVID and stuff like that, let's go play blackjack. As the Jamaicans, we love playing dominoes, we love playing blackjack and having a brandy. That right there is just Jamaican 101, believe me. So that's what me and my friends are kind of into. Like, these are like my close friends that I kind of grew up with. Obviously, I don't recommend you just cut off your friends and shit like that. I love my friends, love my family. Most of the time I'm hanging around with like super close friends that I call brothers anyway. Saying no to them can actually be hard. So what you do is, instead of even saying no to them, just block it out. Just don't even look at their messages. And what I mean by that is literally just turn your phone off before bed, because I know what it's like when it's Friday night. Well, me personally, I work on Saturdays. It's actually Friday now, so I'm gonna have to do this later today. But this is what you call a fail-safe, so it stops you from doing this shit. So Friday night, I know that I need to turn my phone off even earlier than that, because like 7 p.m. is when my friends start to get active. Like, yeah, let's go out, or let's link up for some blackjack, that sort of stuff, and just catch a vibe basically, some music and just chat and just all that sort of stuff, which is cool. I do that on Saturdays. I've tried to cut alcohol out of all of my shit. In fact, I made an oath that I'm not allowed to drink alcohol until I reach a certain point in my business, only on birthdays and Christmases. And I've actually named whose birthdays in particular I'm going to be drinking alcohol on. And when I do drink, it's going to be very small, no spirits and stuff like that, because alcohol is literally the direct opposite of what we're trying to achieve with entrepreneurship, biohacking, productivity, all that sort of stuff. It's literally the direct opposite. That would be another failsafe. So once you've got all these failsafes in place, there is literally nothing else stopping you from achieving your goal except for your own discipline at this point. Now, this takes me on to getting disciplined and routine. Do not focus and do not rely on motivation as your discipline. What I can kind of give you from here is like, kind of have like, me personally behind the camera, there's literally like sheets on the wall, and there's one sheet that literally says like sacrifice. Everyone says sacrifice, but what does sacrifice really mean? And I put sacrifice on the wall. It actually means when you really want to do something, but you still choose not to do that purposefully so you can achieve your goals. And if you don't sacrifice for your goals become the sacrifice, which is a little bit cliche, but literally think about it. And I want you to actually practice this. This is the sort of stuff that freed me as well. And not a lot of people actually talk about mindset stuff, but like, I used to, because obviously it was super hard for me, because I was literally like a party boy. So I would literally sit there and meditate on the fact and kind of like visualize myself getting messaged by my friends saying, Montel, it's Friday night, you've worked hard for 3 weeks now, let's go out, get drunk and blow off some steam. Imagine my friends saying that, and I literally would picture myself saying, no, let's not do that, I've got to focus on my business, I'm just super focused right now. And them actually replying back with something horrible like, what the fuck, man, why not, you've been working hard for so long, chill out, man, it's only gonna be an hour. That's always what they say, by the way. Shout out to my friends, by the way, always trying to tempt me with that shit. I'm joking, I love you guys. But anyway, the idea of all that is to literally practice the difficult things, so when the difficult things come up, you've already done it 100 times. This is the way you kind of hack your brain as well. So now that you've got all that down, it's time for literally routine. What I highly recommend, once you've got all this stuff kind of set down, is literally just doing a little bit of work each and every day and chipping away at this sort of stuff. Because I know that the times when I've had the most success is not when I've done like 100 pieces of outreach in a day. It's when I've done just 10 pieces of outreach, but consistently for like 2-3 months straight, like without missing a single day. That's the key, guys. Not only that, but you want to start building up positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement is when you say to yourself, okay, let's pretend your name's John. Okay, John. So for me, it'd be like, okay, Montel, what we're going to do is we're going to do 10 Upwork outreach today, and we're going to do 10 cold emails today. After that, you can go chill. You can go play Assassin's Creed. You can go play PS5. You can go play Fortnite. You can go watch a movie. You can go grab some food. Basically, have a goal you need to achieve that day. Wake up with a goal you need to achieve that day. Obviously, you should be planning your days beforehand and making sure you know what you're doing. Of course, we've got all the numbers down now, as in you've reverse engineered your numbers. You know what you need to achieve. So once you've done all that shit, now it comes to routine, like I said, so, and positive reinforcement building, because that's what's going to build your discipline, because that's the only thing left at this point that's actually going to stop you, unless, you know, you get, God forbid, you get hit by some sort of horrible disease. Even then, I still believe we all have the mental prowess to cure disease, and that's coming from me, and I have like fucking health anxiety. We'll talk about that in the next video. But guys, look, now it comes to positive reinforcement. So what you want to do is you want to say, I'm going to achieve X pieces of outreach today, and once I do that, I'm going to go and do some sort of reward. So whatever your reward is up to you. Just make sure you're hitting your number each and every day. And guys, trust me, if you listen to what I've said and actually implement this sort of shit, I'm telling you, you're gonna go miles ahead than everybody else, because everybody's trying to think about, how can I get to 10k in the next 2 months? What you need to do is think about this business model as longer term. You need to think longer term about this. What about 5 years time? What about 10 years time? Now think about it. This is a good test to show you whether or not you're doing too much outreach or not enough outreach. I want you to picture whatever pieces of outreach, how many pieces of outreach you've been doing a day. What I need you to picture is, okay, could you sustain that now for 10 years straight without burning out? That's how you know. Or even, you know, let's say you want your agency for 5 years. What you do is then you say to yourself, okay, if I was to build my business just by my own, doing 10 pieces of outreach a day, could I sustain that for the next 5 years without missing a single day? If the answer is yes, then you know you're doing enough outreach and it's not going to burn you out, so you're thinking long term. But if you say to yourself this and the answer is, you know, you're doing 100 pieces of outreach a day, it's really dwelling on you and it's kind of burning you out, then ask yourself, okay, could I sustain this for the next 5 years without missing a single day? If the answer is no, then you know you're doing too much outreach and it's only going to lead you to actually get burnt out. Think about it, guys. That's how you should be thinking about doing your outreach. But anyway, guys, just want to get some shit off my chest and off my head. That's kind of like the couple of keys I would give people. I don't even know what I'm going to friggin' name this video, but those are just a couple of ideas, couple keys, couple type of like mistakes I want you guys to rectify and kind of like figure out, and how to set goals, how to routine, how to put fail safes in place. But guys, look, hope you've enjoyed this and I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.